Warning, the following presentation contains cold, hard truths.
Recently, Phantasy Star Online 2 has been blowing up, considering the amount of I don't like any of you. You're either too freaking long or illogical as shit. Oh, by the way, this one? This one. The English community praised it, but I'm one of the few who took in what he said and realized this isn't a review. It's more of a rant about how it's not in English. Anyways, before I go on a rampage like Kim Jong-un and his missiles, I'll get right to the
Cold, hard truth.
and start review. Leave now. Did the fun people leave? Good. Good. So anyways, I'll be splitting up this to 7 parts. Introduction to the game, gameplay, story, sound, music, content, and my own opinion for people who want to know what I think of a game I've spent countless days on, if this hasn't already told you anything. And some tips for new players. This tickled your fancy. And don't expect me to hold your hand through this. You're gonna have to actually pay attention because I want to see who was by the end of this review. Which basically means this part was unneeded. Crap. Oh, and before we get into this, I just want to do 2 things real quick. First off,
Phantasy Star Online 2.
just stop. The fact that people like this is way beyond me. The whole video is just an opinionated rant with the word review slapped onto it. And I'm not gonna ignore the fact that you didn't research or play enough before reviewing. Second thing. Okay, now that that's off my chest, let's get into this before I turn into a hate channel. Phantasy Star Online 2, or as everyone else calls it,
PSO2
is a sequel to Phantasy Star Online.
Not version 2, not episode 2, actual fucking 2.
Released on PC, PS Vita, and PS4 in Japan and Southeast Asia. Okay, maybe not Southeast Asia, they only had the PC release. The North American version was announced back in 2013, although, oh, and the C version got shut down recently too.
The most immediately noticeable flaw of PSO2 is the simple fact that it's not in English. Language barriers. Flaw.
Gee, I wonder why. The game is not only available on these platforms, but they're also cross-playable, where Minecraft can be played on the Xbox One, Switch, mobile devices, and Windows 10. PSO2 can be played on PC, PS4, and the PS Vita. Best part? Your progress gets carried over and gets updated between devices. And surprisingly, this is the only game I know that's PC, PS Vita crossplay. See, Warframe may be free to play, but when you realize how limited you are in terms of inventory space, you're forced to drop $5 on the game. Maybe more, depending on your mood. Not only that, but you're also limited on your choice of customization. Colors are behind paywalls, and accessories are either locked behind random alerts or paywalls. And if you're a guy like me who lives and breathes, then this is a huge negative. This by all means, it's not a bad thing, of course. It is a free game. You didn't spend $60 on the game. So dropping $5 is whatever, right? But PSO2, you don't have to drop a single pet. Wait, those don't exist in Canada anymore. You don't have to drop a single nickel on the game. Want boosts? Play the game. Want a new weapon? Play the game. Want to buy something? Play the game. What I'm saying is, this game is play to win. See this shit? Useless. See this subscription thing? Unneeded. See this trade button? Won't even touch it. The only thing I see as being pay to win here are the mags. If you screw one up, you're better off buying a new one. But that's what build guides are for. See these weapons? Not even pay to win. Everyone, and I mean everyone, has to grind these weapons. The combat here is... well, let's just say it's not the first time you've seen this type of combat. See, the small monsters, you run up to them, kill them, no problem. But the big monsters are the ones where you gotta lock on, attack the weak spots to deal a lot of damage, block if possible, or dodge if your class requires. Is this starting to seem familiar? It's Dark Souls. The map diversity here is kinda lackluster, with a heavy emphasis on kinda. The forest, volcano, and desert are more or less the same deal. However, the maps differ later on. Mine, for example, has traps, buttons, laser tripwires. Huron is all explored for you already. Quarry is like a maze and requires teleporters around the map. Tokyo requires dash pads. Las Vegas requires upskirt devices. Speaking of maps, there's also mining and fishing areas in the game because there's also crafting here.
I really think that this game has my favorite fishing. You know why? Because it's quick. Look how much fishing I can do in like 20 seconds. Look at that. Now that's fishing.
Oh, and did I mention that there's a character creator in this game? It's not as complex as Black Deserts or The Sims 4, but it definitely gets the job done. Here, along with countless amounts of accessories the game has, to be honest, it's probably like 90%. You can most likely create your dream character. Nothing is stopping you. Want to be Snoop Dogg? Sure, do it. Want to be Bob Ross? Paint happy trees with him. Shigeru Miyamoto? Let's go! Kirito? Get out. The online Phantasy Star games are no stranger to lobbies. PSO had Pioneer 2, Phantasy Star Universe had the Guardians Colony, and Portable 2 had Clad 6. However, the Ark's ship is a lot more like PSU's Guardians Colony. It's multi-floored, separated the lobby into a gate area, shop area, casino, and a bridge. It's still as simple as navigating Pioneer 2 and Clad 6 though. The game also has modes. There's the usual questing where you... just take a guess. Then there's this dead mode called Challenge. Basically you and 11 other people have to work together to beat a map within the time limit. And you also start from scratch. There's also PvP. It's not what you think. It's RNG weapon-based goodness, and like Team Deathmatch, the team with the most points win the game. Obviously, you get this by ruthlessly beating the enemy to nothing but blood and crushed bones. But you can also collect stars scattered around the arena. There's also rainbow stars in the middle of the map because they got sick of Mario's shit and decided to screw other people over. These are worth the most points. And then there's story mode.
And if you do choose to go through with this mode, brace yourself for something really, really not great. If there was ever a possibility to spew blasphemy on the Phantasy Star canon, this is it.
PSO2 has 5 episodes. First 3 episodes are traditional Phantasy Star lore, And this one brings us back to the land of the original Phantasy Star. Of course, I'm not going to say anything about the story, I just want to pique your interest. However, I will say this. Episode 1 to 3 is long and mostly boring. The story itself isn't boring, of course. It's how you get it. The way to progress here is dumb. You have to go to a certain place and do a certain thing to get a stamp. And once you get to a gold stamp, only then will the story actually progress. Episode 4 introduced a more linear way to progress the story. Cluttered, but it works. Episode 5 further improves that by giving you an actual menu, and they separated it by main story and side story, complete with nice background, somber musics. Why did I tell you that? Well, Episode 5 also redid Episode 1, with Episode 2 and 3 on the way. Instead of using the matterboard, now it's a menu to get you right into the nit and gritty. Being the sequel to PSO, you can bet your ass that the sounds are here to stay. Actually, you should be f***ing ashamed for thinking that they wouldn't. What I'm saying here is they're like Sonic sound effects. They're staples to the game, so there's no point in changing what's iconic. And while on that topic, the music is... well, I don't usually have my music on, to be honest. But I can't say that it isn't annoying. It's not repetitive or anything, considering that there's different themes for different areas.
Let's talk about these Tokyo levels. I'm not loving them or their music.
Kill yourself. The fuck? Please kill yourself.
Attention Japan! Get your stinking J-pop out of my RPG!
This game is in Japanese. The area is Tokyo. What the hell did you freaking expect? Salsa music? Or were you expecting all-American rejects? The game also has quite a handful of stuff to do. No, not.
Raise pets, raise mags, level up as a bunch of different classes, play casino games, collect ingredients to sell to a cafe, decorate your apartment, play with candy, dress up your character, do scratch-offs, argue with nerds about who is gayer, argue with people who don't speak your language, do a pose, play bingo, stare.
See this kind woman right here? It gives you daily client orders that refresh at 12 AM JST. The first 3 quests always boost this gauge called the Daily Boost, which increases XP gain. Helpful, right? Feel like you need Meseta?
This guy Hans, he simply cannot handle the fact that there are all these elephants walking around, and he's willing to pay a high price to make them go away. High price, high price.
Kill yourself.
This sadistic asshole here has client orders that pay a large sum of Meseta. 2 million in total if you complete it all. Per week. There's also this kind gentleman who pays a large sum for finding rare materials. Itching to gain some levels? Buster Quest is a tower defense quest complete with defense and castle siege phases. Limited quests are... well, they're limited quests that offer a lot of experience as well, so... There's also quests called emergency quests, which are raids. A lot of rare stuff can drop here, so it's best to run it if you're looking for rare items.
But don't forget to do some missions with these NPCs. These guys rule, and they have fantastic personalities. They comment on everything that goes on. Every time I find a rare weapon, they're congratulating me. Some of them even act a little jealous. These guys are generally more fun to play with than my actual friends. I don't even like to play with other people at all.
Look, I get it. You have no friends.
Yo,
Cold, hard
what
truth.
the
Overall, this game is free to play. It has an active player base and an active team of players trying to translate the game. There's also a guide on how to sign up and play as well. If this caught your attention, then by all means, please try it out. You're not losing anything except time. However, if you really do care about my opinion, this game is alright. Combat is fun, cosmetics is what hooked me, leveling is tedious but there are ways to rush it, And well, the story in episode 1 to 3 is a chore to get through, but you can skip it entirely and go through it in episode 5, so. Also, fixing is bullshit. So you interested in PSO2 and want to give the game a shot? Let me tell you everything I know that should help you kickstart your PSO2 experience. Rule: do not make a cure retard. You think you'll be unique making one? No. You'll just be as generic as the other hundreds of cure retards. Okay, now on to the tips. I'm not lying about that rule. Make your character special. Don't think like every weeb out there and make a Naruto, Noctis, Kirito, Inuyasha, Natsu, or freaking Luffy. Choose a character that isn't well known, like Y'shtola, P3 hero, or even the coolest guy to ever exist.
Terrific.
Or if you're gonna make an entirely original character, just don't f it up. If you're going to pick a ship and you can only type in English, please pick ship 2, because I highly doubt you're bilingual. Unless you enjoy being spammed with dicks, sperm, porn, racism, offensive stuff, and such like that, stay away from Block 1. Editor's note, they recently added a report function in the game, so Block 1 is fairly quiet now. Do not be afraid to chat. It's a Japanese game, I know, but believe me, Japanese players don't care. As long as you aren't spamming crap or invading their personal space, they won't report you. Don't be a freaking asshole. Like honestly, don't be this guy.
Argue with people who don't speak your language.
You can and will be banned if you're obnoxious as hell. If you do that shit near me, I'm gonna witch hunt you. Join a team. Not only do you get extra help from other players, but you also get access to the team tree, which, if taken care of, can give you a handful of benefits. Do your daily client orders, and I really mean that. They really help ease the grind early game, be it leveling, drops, or Meseta. At levels 30, 45, and 55, you'll come across level gaps. You get client orders from this wonderful woman right here, 5 levels before the cap. Do them within those levels, so you don't lose extra XP like I did. Don't force yourself to play. Take breaks. That's pretty standard stuff. I hope you enjoyed this review and or tips video. Well, honestly, I just wanted to bash this guy for his
Cold, hard truth.
because seriously, f that guy.
I read the news today, oh boy, about a lucky man who made the grade. And though the news was rather sad, well, I just had to laugh.